Yo, yo, y'all have to listen to this because we just was live and something was played like a day ago, and it was yo. Someone said somebody literally. No, wait. We're gonna wait. No, y'all gotta listen. This is someone I was. It was referred to me that I use Tisa Talk. So I'm gonna use Tisa Talk because I fucks with her. You know what I mean? Like everybody entitled to their opinion. You know what I'm saying? But if you wasn't there, you wasn't the fuck there. No, she's live there. I'm not gonna play her live. I wanna play the one that she Tisa Todd, she had one, I guess, a day ago. But I gotta listen. I gotta. She didn't. I don't know. And she hit me last time. I don't know. But this is how you lose a trial. Like, yo, this is how you get mistrial. All right, this is it right here.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you?
Now, the first thing I want to just say, hold up, let me turn it off the TV though. Now, I'm literally how did they miss this? Sometimes people don't miss shit. They just mind their fucking business. You understand? See, I don't have no aspirations to expose Diddy. You feel me? I don't even know him. Somebody try to put me in that whole ring. So now that shit got me like, yo, but I know, I'm telling you, I know my partners. And I said, my people's, they don't come in, but all right. So is the modus operandi the same here, or are is one case overshadowing another case, or are the cases connected? It said that Yella Beezy opened for Jay-Z and Beyonce, but so the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Oh no, that you see, Pop, look, he showing Puppy, he got the glasses on. I'm like, Puppy. He came on and apologized for what he did, right? Now I'm going to ask you this. If your friend is in trouble, is you going to help him? You don't know the situation or nothing. You just know that somebody's in trouble. Is you going to help them? Never met them before, none of that. How you start the debate up? How you make people see through the glasses? So the other day, I put Nancy Grace on here. And now y'all can't see that video where I go in on Nancy Grace. I told you I ain't get a copyright straight. They just told me, yo, yeah, because you didn't like what I said about Nancy Grace. I said, look like she masked up. I'm for real. I ain't even gonna hold you. And then this girl right here, pretty young. Listen, Nancy Grace, yeah, she already did her audition. Yeah, I mean, on some real stuff. So she a prosecutor. She used to be a prosecutor. So what's her Jones always gonna be? Everybody guilty. Woman's perspective when it comes to a certain thing, everybody guilty, but she did that shit. Yo, you ain't just do that shit with yo, come on. Cut it the fuck out. Like that's the shit that be getting me mad about. So as soon as I get off alive, Tisa Tell is on. And someone actually, I mean, I guess that's how you might network and build healthy relationships between each other. But it's, I mean, are you an intellectual or are you, when you were in the juror's box and they literally ask you, and you separate your feelings from the law? Seriously, who the fuck ain't heard of P. Diddy? Every fucking name that he is, who has not heard of that? All right, so just keep drilling down, and then all of a sudden, one day, all of a sudden, everybody talking about Diddy. Okay, so now Diddy is being tried where? In the same fuck in his district, the southern. All right, all right. Hold up. So let me give it to y'all. Like, as raw as I fucking can. It wasn't. It wasn't. What's the name of the first one that we came up with? R. Kelly. No, it was Africa and Bada, Polite, yo, all of them boys. Yeah, Hassan Campbell Hanging. What did he get? Did he settle with Hassan Campbell? Did he settle with listen, uh, fuck that. Go all the way back to Sotomayor. Um, Sotomayor. Or somebody just missed something that they should have caught. I caught it. So I mentioned Bill Clinton, but notice I didn't say anything about Hillary because y'all don't know what happened. Y'all don't know what was up with Hillary. So, hey, Bush, she was one of them. She was one of them. How did they? How did look? She spelled it right. TH. Who missed what? All right, I'm gonna see if I missed it. All right, we're gonna see if I missed anything and what T said. So the first thing, remember, let me give her light. You see what it say? It say see perks. I bought a membership to her. Now, what's her name? Cassie Ventura. Some people remind you of other people. So I had to slow down right here. And I'm like, yo, is she on coke and then her teeth all whiz-eyed is up? And the other person who teeth is whiz-eyed is that's the girl. Her shit halfway. Her shit halfway done. What's her name? Make mob, paint mob, whatever. I don't know. Go on mob, whatever. All right, done. Hey, everybody can feel safe over here. I don't. I'm not talking. I'm just like I be showing shit. I feel like she talking to me because she using some of my words. I mean, the exact words we was using over here. Because I say I always felt like I was part of an experiment, but Dr. Harvell at Penn State, she told me, why do I always start things and then don't finish them? Like, I'll start argument or racism and sexism. And that's what this is right here. But I'm far too going to get back into one of these conversations. But I'm going to say a couple, two or three things. A couple, two or three things. So, yeah, I can make it clear to all parties involved. I don't know Tisa Tells, and I don't know P. Diddy. Sean Combs, I don't know nothing. I don't know shit. I just like, yo, I'm not trying to be on one side or the other side. And you just go down the middle. If my grown daughter makes the decision that she would like to go and or someone, or she saw something, or whatever. I don't know. This is one thing that I could say as a father. I just told y'all I ain't teach minds, then prep them or anything. I still can't even think about. I'm telling you, I don't even try to go get my daughter. I'm not getting my daughter no feminine products, and I didn't know it hurt her. One of my daughters, it hurt her bad. It's just that I had a bad experience. My mom wanted me to get her some maxi pads at the Chinese store. Yo, I was a young boy then. Yeah, that was something. That was the most embarrassed. That's some embarrassing shit. I'm not trying to bring no maxi pads to his on. That's one part of it. I have two girls, and I'm saying, what happened to the freak off parties that everybody was talking about? Y'all keep talking about the freak off parties. Where the fuck them at? Where the fuck them people at? Where them people that willingly came over there to freak off, but y'all only got Diddy right there, and who y'all got? The people under Diddy. So there's people over Diddy that who reported on Harvey Weinstein. I ain't even never heard y'all say nothing really nothing about Harvey. We forgot that mysteriously, yo, the Lonely Island Express, has it gotten there yet? I'm just being serious. I ain't even trying to fucking like take no sides. I'm not taking no sides. Like, why everybody get amped up when some shit coming out New York, especially the Southern District, right near the water. Some type of incident happens, and then yeah, oh, Diddy dead, or this one got stabbed up, and come on, how do anybody know that Diddy is panicking? She's gonna say she's looking at him in the courtroom. So let me go. And this is all due respect to Tisa Todd. I really like her, like her energy, because at first I was going to say, is she, is she on an energy drink, or was she snorting, or what? Like, it's mad. Like, it looked like it's early in the morning. She got a drawing with Puffy with some sunglasses on. My mind think crazy. I'm sorry.
How y'all doing today? Wait, hold on. Can y'all hear me? What's going on? Listen, I promised y'all a week 3 recap. Now, listen, we have to talk about this, guys, because so many people, including me, said the defense did what needed to be done in the end of week 3 with Mia. Now, let me just start off by saying, of course, I believe the diddler is guilty, okay? Of course, I believe all that stuff. And I do believe Mia's testimony. I just don't think that she was ready for all of Brian Still's nonsense. But you guys, I talked to a lot of legal experts, and we are going to do an in-depth legal analysis because the word on the curve is not only is Diddy looking for a pardon, which I do want to say that I made that video 9 months ago that Diddy was looking for a pardon, right? And y'all called me a liar. Now, I was not. It looks like Diddy is 100% being pardoned. But my whole point of the matter is, well, let me slow.
This one day ago, she had to slow herself down. She said it looks like Diddy is going to be 100% pardoned. Week 3 of his trial, the President of the United States. And listen to me. I'm not even playing with you. Y'all know that when I first was saying something about this, I was like, yo, they been saying something about President Part. So she says, let me let her finish saying. But I said the other day, when I first said something about that, I said, yo, I'm not standing in defense of him. And it's not, it's just levels to that shit. You understand? When I say I like the villain, you just gotta look at the dates, man. I'm just trying to tell you. But I don't know Diddy. I wasn't at none of his parties or none of that. So I don't have nothing wrong to say about man. He did what to the music industry, but he also defined what a producer is. So if Diddy goes down or gets off, no matter what, yo, Diddy, what did he used to do? And he's y'all who gonna say that Sean Combs ain't a producer? I just want to know that right there. What's the favorite line we know about him? And yo, if, if Diddy used 80s beats like the bar shit and remix that shit, basically like he just mixing it, but it's the bar shit. If he had all the copyrights to it,
Me slow down. He's not 100% being pardoned, but he is 100% looking for a pardon. But people are saying that one of the reasons he is pushing so hard for a pardon and willing to beg, borrow, steal, baby, he will not only sell his community out, he will wrap it up and hand it to Trump for 2000. What are we at? 24, 2028. He is right? Or is it 2000? Yeah, it's 2028. When did Trump be?
yo, it's 2025. Yo, for real, on some real shit. Yo, what is this? Is she all right? Cause I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, yo, for real, it's 220, it's 2020. She done jumped from 24 to 28. Like,
Become president. Has only been some 2029. Listen, the whole point of the matter is he is willing to do everything he can. We will talk about the pardon later, but part of the reasons he wants to do a pardon is because Diddy's team believes that he is 100%. And when I say 100%, 100%, the government is 100% proven their case. And baby, we are going to do an in-depth legal analysis. Now, let me just get into this.
hold up. So, I just gotta be me. So, first off, I'm looking at this background. I'm like, yo, this, where is she? With all this same color. Look, this John look like yo on some real shit. I'm looking at the John right there. I'm like the John is all covered up. Why that thing covered up right there? And look like it's the bed right there. So I'm like, yo, where's she at doing this? In New York. Like, where's she at doing this? I mean, I ain't never seen this back. But this must be a hard background. I don't know. Shit black right here, like this the bed post or some shit like this right here. That's where the picture is. And then this the bed. But it's all the same color and the door right fucking there. Now, I don't know if this is a matter of I don't know. I don't know where they at. Look like a fucking room. Like not even trying to be funny. Like yo, her hair taking up. Yo, you can't even see the fucking door back that joint. And I don't know if it's the camera she got or what, but she mad for it. She mad for it. Like, yo, look. So, um, but
To
let's,
this legal analysis for you guys because we need to talk about a few things, okay? I've been in the court every day, Monday through Friday. I've been doing recaps, okay? I've not been in the overflow room, and no shade to the overflow room because the overflow room is very, very fun. But I've been in the courtroom looking at the jurors. I've been looking at the reaction. I've been looking at the reaction of the court. Now, listen, moving forward, I will not talk about any specific jurors because apparently there is a whole bunch of law around that. But let me just say, Brian.
yeah. Who looking at us when we talking? Yo, I literally put up runaway jury, and then she comes out the next day and say she will not be talking about any specific jurors. I'm trying to tell you, like, yo, they be having jokers that is. Yo, seriously. I literally, when someone told me to that I should talk that she wasn't going to copyright strike me, but I had been listening to her before. But I like her analysis because she corrects herself. It seems like she's correcting herself sometimes live the next day, like within a few. Yo, she corrects herself very quickly, and has no problem with it.
Ryan still made a bunch of leeway and momentum with going after Mia. However, Diddy's team is spiraling because, baby, they believe, and we got to listen to this. They believe that the feds have already proved their case. We've actually pulled up the statutes because a lot of people are saying, I don't see the RICO, I don't see the coercion, I don't see this. And all I want to say is you need to open your eyes. The feds have already proven their case. We're going to go through each witness testimony, tell you where it's gone, but we're going deeper than that. We're actually going to look at what the predicates are. We're also going to go into the jury instructions, and we're already going to say that no matter how many jurors are or are not pro Diddy, the facts are the facts. And
now, if I were to comment on that, yo, literally, I'm telling you, who y'all think is in here looking at us? I know. H, you is as far as you know anything about Diddy this, huh? Or you heard? Now I'm saying that to say this. I just was telling you that Bill Clinton, they was trying to make us redefine what you know. I'm not cheating on my wife because I only let the Jones. She only gave me you know, she only gave me fellatio. So I'm not cheating because she only gave me fellatio. But all right, she gave you fellatio. See, that shit was mad good, and you spilled your DNA on her dress, and she kept it. Man, niggas ain't trying to go to jails on rumors though. You know what I'm saying? If, if a nigga hit a John, then convict him and charge him right. Cause saying somebody, how many times y'all gonna run it and say, yo, these women are getting older and older. So now when they testify, now they look like, and then you trying to imagine them younger. And the statute just get old. Yo, you can bring that shit down there 30 years later, and I'm supposed to remember, yo, you remember all the way back 30 years I did what I had on and everything. No, you're gonna start, there is, you got nightmares and everything like that, but why y'all go for the bread first? Y'all got you can't have a monetary incentive, or it's like unclean hands. So you went for the bread, and your lawyer say your lawyer say, yo, I'm gonna get you. We're gonna sue for 100 million, but you only get 200,000. Now you just did that case, the civil case, and all that shit is in like public record. I told you to get to this case, you gotta go through mad fucking cases where they said this, that, and third, right? But it's public fucking record. Let me see. Let me see if I see this. Whose side you on? Like, who you trying to get justice for? Yo, you don't. These is ratchet TV numbers right here. On some real shit. These is ratchet TV numbers. Like, all right, I'm gonna send these people over to you. You sound like, oh man, yada yada. But I'm looking at the John. You do better than that. Like,
And Diddy knows, just like you guys are going to know at the end of this live, that the government's already proven their case and it's only week 3. We still have victim 2. Victim 2 is going to basically be another act of the sex trafficking and racketeering. But at the end of the day, let's get into this because I gotta be honest with y'all. Sorry, y'all. I am tired. And when I say tired, I mean sick and tired of the people saying they don't see this, they don't see that. If everybody can stop watching Carlito's Way and The Godfather and actually just read the book on what's supposed to be going on, I think it will be a lot better. Okay, now let's get into this. Okay, also let me get into the chat. What is going on, everybody? Maine says, do you think KK or D-Rock will testify? Let me tell you something. I think D-Rock will 100% testify. I think KK is 100% going to testify too. They've been talking about her too much. The only thing that stands to be reasoned is, will KK be on the prosecution's witness list or will they be on Diddy's witnesses? Remember, the prosecution said if you are not a witness, you are a co-conspirator. KK and D-Rock, especially D.
Bam. So who's doing the coercion? Y'all heard Diddy? Y'all heard Diddy say anything like that? She just said the prosecution said if the prosecutor came. I mean, how they came out? Like they said that at a press conference. If you don't testify against Diddy, you're a co-conspirator. I'm not going to testify against him. I'm a co-conspirator. The fuck was I there? So who the fuck is D-Rock and KK? Like, yo, but they supposed to be victims? D-Rock. I know you're not talking about the Dove Rock. No, like I said. The Eagles won the Super Bowl this year, didn't they? Saquon Barkley ain't get the record. Like that. He ain't get the record, but he got the deal. So, Dang Lane break the record.
D-Rock, baby, he was transporting and chasing people down. Baby Peaches says, oh my God, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Any other questions before we get, I made a PowerPoint presentation, y'all, so this is going to be good. And again, let me just say, I've been in the courtroom. I've been watching the jurors. I have been there every single day. I come at 6:37 in the morning and I stay until the court is over. Baby, when I say I am giving y'all an eagle eyes view, and again, you guys are going to see soon, the feds have already proven their case. And this is why Diddy is panicking. And this is why he is going all in with that presidential pardon. Again, he is saying he can be useful, but the real gag is, and we'll talk about that in a second with the presidential pardon. I'll probably make a standalone video. They're saying that this might be a way that Diddy doesn't implicate the real power, which is the music industry, maybe Clive Davis, maybe Jimmy Levine, all these people
So who in the fuck? I just answered justice for no three. Yeah, conversation and conversations. Yeah, other people was talking about that. I don't know nothing about these companies. Nothing. I don't know nothing. So I don't know why. I don't know Diddy. If I don't know something about the industry, I'm doing that. So you never see me on no motherfucking stand. I don't know none of these fucking companies. They help me some type of way. We partners. All I know is people pass across in different ways. You know what I'm saying? You might throw a couple artists, but you pushing your real estate company. Fuck, I don't give a fuck if you do a flip or none of that. Put this banner up there and it say my company name. So
People's names that were bought up, and people are saying that the real power, they are saying that Diddy 100% this might be a way to cycle him out and let him go free so he doesn't pull anybody else down. Also, somebody, oh, thank you. Confessions of a Reality TV Queen said, Happy Saturday, Tisa. And chat, not to Diddy. Y'all, you know Diddy is not having a good Saturday. All right. And also, Maine, I know I already thanked you, but thank you. You know how you know Diddy is not having a good day? Also, Stephanie 77 said, oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Diddy, oh, Sarah said, hold on, said, oh my God, the golden hour got you litty, high beauty. Oh, y'all can see it said, it's the golden hour. Shut up. Just shine. It's the golden hour.
so listen, who the closest one to you is the bodyguard, right? So literally 2 weeks ago, he's still speaking on Diddy. They did y'all heard? Did y'all hear them say that they sequestered the jury? See, when you sequester the jury, you're trying to stop the jury from hearing me talk, her talk, any of these people. Yo, Gene Dill talk, and I mean Gene Dill been talking, but he got a book out and everything. But they said Jones supposed to be like 5 weeks. So he got the same lawyer as YSL, and YSL copped out and said to whatever he did, which we really don't. I don't even know what the fuck he said he did. Except say he was part of a gang. Then he had the ball up there. He had the ball up there. And the ball was like, yeah, we did that. We shot that up. Do, 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 do. Me and the so-and-so shot that ball up. So the YSL ball just get booked. I mean, I don't know what your problem was. Man, it's no, it's bleeding out. Yeah, bro, bleed out. So I don't know what you was fighting for or whatever, but you got Cassie, you got um, these other people, and I haven't. I'm just giving you just my analysis, just because of who's presenting it and how they're presenting it, because they feel how they feel, but then justice is on, like I said, on the street or in the courtroom.
Okay, so let's get into this. All right. Listen, let me tell y'all why I think that Trump is. Actually, I'm going to make a standalone video about that because there's a lot going on with the Diddy Trump. I told y'all 9 months ago, and then I rehashed it 3 months ago. I do remember, because y'all know I like saying, everybody said I was lying. They said I was making up stuff. They said, oh my God, you do anything for clicks and views. And I was like, you guys, I have actual real sources. And this is 100% lit. And now, because the Rolling Stone and CNN and CBS News, literally 9 months later, just like the Jonathan Naughty stuff, are now reporting it. Now everybody's looking at an official story. It's okay. I don't take any offense. Anyway, Jordan Dara said part of the reason Diddy was able to get away with it for so long is because he used his sexiness and irresistibility to his advantage. Can somebody call the cops on Jordan? Are you being held with that, Will? He used his sexiness and irresistibility to his advantage. I mean, I guess that's one way to say it. Okay. Brainiac Minderload said that Diddy's lawyer still not doing amazing. Listen, Brian still did something amazing on Friday. I will say Xavier, Brian Still, and Westmoreland, those three attorneys, baby, they always do their big ones when they're on the stand. They are too good. They need to sit down. We need Mark Agnifilio on the stand, stumbling and bubbling. We need Mark Agnifilio on the stand, stumbling and bumbling. All right. Adrian said, keep it up. He said, you've been on it. Like how I like how you're showing up and giving us the truth through your lens. Thank you. And a lot of people are mad at me when I said Brian Still did his big one. He ripped me apart. I literally was disgusted. I said it. It was disgusting. It was gross. It was disturbing. It was misogynistic. It was ignorant. It was sexist. But you know what? It was also very, very effective. I do think that Brian Still ripped apart Mia, and the jury wasn't buying anything he said. Now, the feds may, oh God, the center's messing with me. The feds may come out and rehabilitate her because they have to do a redirect, but Brian Still did his big one. That said, and I want to point to everybody else, this is a game, a football.
Well, I tell you, I said they probably gonna have to rehabilitate her. The government probably gonna have to, like, what they call redirect, to rehabilitate her, to clear up anything that Brian Still might have brought out. That, yeah, they lawyer trickery shit that they do. cross-examine, but so if the goal of locking somebody up is to rehabilitate them and they come out and do the same fucking thing, why would the government have to rehabilitate their own witness to put somebody in jail? They should have been, why would they have to redirect? I mean, did the lawyer like do some magic or some shit like that? The girl, Maya, whoever she is, um, I believe I know who she is. Um, I don't even think she's trying to. She wanna even beat it. I mean, yo, y'all not even MIA. Come on, ain't she the last one that Diddy was with? Is that ain't the one that was Diddy was with like right a few months ago? I mean, like she just got a deal or whatever, and she was all on TV. Said she wasn't getting ready to testify. She didn't have nothing to say wrong about Diddy. Now, as far as Cassie goes, or MIA goes, I know it has to be MIA or Miami, whatever her name is, because when y'all saying about the Texas, that's the girl, little young girl, contact joint. You know what I mean? Yeah, they had on his on his arm. I was wondering myself, like, did he? Did he? Yeah, I mean, how you gonna say that the women haven't heard about the Diddy party? How many of you heard of what's his name? Juvenile? What's her name? Karen Steffens, Superhead. All right. So that shit been out since '95, '96, I don't know, something like that. Where these people? Are they just born or something like that? Like you trying to say they was just born? They don't know about Biggie. They don't know about Faith. Don't know about nothing. They just walked up in Bad Boys and just I don't know what the fuck happened in Bad Boys. They ain't my motherfucking time. I don't want to be no motherfucking rock star. I'm glad none of my kids won't drink because I don't want to think about that shit. I don't even want to really talk about that. Just saying, like, we can't just give passes to people that get into shit that they want to get into and didn't get out of it what they want to, and then they want to go to court. And that's all. How old is you? Now, if you're not of of a consent age, that's a different thing. I wish motherfucker. But y'all trying to say that he has so much power. So what's the boy name? He used to walk around with the umbrella. I forgot boy name. The little boy used to dress up all in the bow tie and all that shit. Yeah, what happened to that boy? He testified? Man, if these people was a consenting age, meaning before anybody is gonna give me any drug, yeah, I don't give a fuck if he a doctor, he a billionaire, a trillionaire. I don't give a fuck. Ain't nobody giving me no motherfucking drug and tell me, yo, what you go in that room, smash these two people and you beat up. Yo, certain shit you just don't accept. And no thank you. No thank you. Yeah. Or, you meet them with that, you got to meet them with that energy. Man, I'll fuck you up. Who the fuck you think you playing with? Yeah, I don't give a fuck if he P. Diddy, P. whoever. I don't give a fuck who you is. Nigga, you ready to put a gun to my head and be like, yo, when this is over, I'm gonna do this to you. Where them people at? Use this power and influence to make you do what? So if you see the president speaking, I mean, presidents and politicians don't use their power and influence to do certain things, help their friends. All right, well, let's take Donald Trump. I just told you Donald Trump got booked for like 36 counts of some type of drama. Right up there in the NY. Wasn't it? Was it in the NY or was it in the ATL? It's wherever they made them show them taxes. But so who would be higher than Diddy? Because I just reported, yo, they let the mayor, yo, the first person that like they went and got was the mayor of the city because he gave him like the key to the city. Now where the mayor at? Motherfuckers stepping down from they job like they y'all reporting that what's his man? What's the boy name? Not Cliff Lowdown. I don't know. The big black one from down Houston. The Potter's house and all of that. How would it all come out that yeah, some shit was going on with him before. Yeah, right before, the trial. Like they were saying something about his wife and somebody's missing child. Like the child was given to him, and the mom wanted the child back. So 8, 9 months ago, that was about 8 or 9 months ago. That the inside source or something like that. Yo, everybody know about the boy from Houston, Potter House boy. Right down to, I mean, seriously, let's think about it. You a pastor, you want a jet. Where you going? You going? You jetting from one church to the other, or you need a jet for privacy so you can land privately? Yeah, what the pastor need to land privately for? You ain't the president. Where you going? Going to if you're going to a public church, public church, or you didn't. You went to a public party. You got your picture taken. You know, with a camera phone. I guess from like 2004, like probably like 2004 when the Sixers start. No, maybe like 2001 when the Sixers start. Me and somebody, that's when I was just coming up. So I just bumped into a couple, 2 or 3 people, and I just used to see how they act and see how my grandfather act. Yeah, a man gonna be a man, or um, niggas upstate, upstate. You see my cousin H right there. Salute, mate. You know how we get down. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck, but that ain't my motherfucking business. But he there in the fuck bedroom and all that shit like that. I ain't trying to fucking talk about that dumbass shit. But intellectually, you can't have it both ways. You can't. It can't be both ways. Now, I said to say this. It's been estimated, I'm not certain, but it's been estimated that Joseph, no matter if you think that Jesus was just a prophet or you think that he was God, but Joseph and Mary, yeah, they wasn't your conventional couple. Like Mary might have been like teenager. It's been estimated about that. And Joseph, I think that was like his second wife. I think his first wife died. I'm not sure. So before we start judging people, maybe we start looking at our history because either he raped you, say he raped you. That's it. All this extra shit, like he uses power and influence. Nobody trying to hear none of that shit. Did he grape you? Did he grab you down and hold you down or whatever? Because we did see him you run down the hall and sucker punch you, but you was fully fucking dressed. He was the one naked. So who the one looked? Yeah. Who else was in the room? How she fully fucking dressed? Fully dressed. She got fully dressed, and then before Puff knew to run down the hall and sucker punch her, who was else in the room? Somebody else was in the room? Yeah, wasn't nobody else in the room. It was him, Cassie, like, yo, so battery hot. Where that come into like the fact, I mean, that you got fully dressed and you was able to make it to the jizz on. What? Like what, Puff was knocked out or something? He was in there with some bull or something? I'm just trying to, that's the part I'm trying to figure out. It's just you and Puff in the jizz on? Was Puff behind like a mirror or something? Looking? No, it's real. I'm trying to figure why Puff chases somebody down the hallway. Took the money first. But that's why, all of this commentary, all of this shit, all on Instagram, they flood us with all of this shit to poison this man from getting a fair trial, from knowing if something really happened because niggas, what niggas, where the niggas at? Let's go get all the stats. Say, yeah, I seen that nigga. He was popping that nigga. Yeah, you see any power driving, huh? You just stood there and watched him too, huh? You watched two men had sex because they They had exactly 1,000 bottles of baby oil. So was niggas like wrestling? What the fuck was going on? Really, I don't even give a fuck what was going on. Did some kids get hurt in there? Like, what are kids at? Like, yo, I don't give a fuck what people doing in Gotham City. Like, yo, y'all, yo, I'm just telling you, you got people from every fucking part of the world live in New York, bring their religions, everything they believe. Motherfuckers be throwing hexes and all types of shit on people. I don't know what the fuck is up in New York. Ain't my business like that. I'm not even changing my mind. Got two daughters that I need to worry about. But they on both sides of the coin. Do I love one more than the other? Nope. I love them both the same. So did they have some audio? Because I noticed people starting to bring up like I heard someone say something about calling a woman a bitch. Yeah. I showed y'all. Can't stand foul mouth woman like you. Why did they show us the Cassie joint before the trial started? On some real shit. Why they show us the Cassie joint before he went to trial? Why was Gene Deal writing a book about all of this shit before he went to trial? Man, I hope no, that from Bill Cosby to now that brothers have learned that you let Jules stay with her and shit. Then put your statement out to counter theirs. But everybody know it's not to go try to hit somebody's pocket so they can't defend themselves with a good attorney. Yeah, that's kind of unfair play. You know what I'm saying? So you remember OJ, he went to criminal trial first and showed beyond a reasonable doubt that he didn't do it. But they was able still to get him for his bread. And then got some time out of it because he was, you realize somebody just screws you somewhere. Somewhere. you might not, you might not know, you might not fully understood what you got yourself into. But yeah, you try to get gangster kick the door in and all that shit in Vegas. So he got the time on him anyway, right? They, they took 33 they took 33 million and then he got 33 years. But since he paid it 33 million, he ain't through all he ain't through all the years. They gave him a couple years out of jail. Now he gone. So I don't think like I don't think I mean seriously for real. If Diddy gets pardoned, then what's next? The first thing when you talk to your lawyer, you be like, yo, I got some I got some exposure on this case. That's the first thing you tell a lawyer. Yeah, I could put up in this junk. At least the attorneys that I know, my attorney. Told me, didn't care who I believed in. Get in courtroom. Get in that courtroom for that judge. He said, that judge going home and I'm going home. So what you want to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get you this. Let's talk about. Even if you ain't through, he just like, that's probably really good. And that word just keeps showing up for every fucking time. A lawyer that's ready to go look toe to toe with a judge in a state court. They ain't doing that in no federal court. When you're in a federal court, all that acting and shit like that, somebody just like me put your ass on the stand. I did it to the prosecutor in my case. Just because of the utterance that she made, because she got a conviction out of me. She wanted me, but didn't have me on it. Except that I use the name of my family. Yeah. So now that's my alias. But it's still the name of my fucking family. What? You gonna change? You can't change the name of my family.
Football game, if you want, your team's going to be up sometimes. Sometimes Diddy's going to be up 20. However, Diddy's own team and Diddy himself does believe that the government has already proven his case. Okay. And again, that's what y'all can say. Yes, I do. I am pro Diddy. I am pro Diddy needs to spend his life in jail. I do want to make sure Diddy never comes out. But if something does happen in
Yo, but on what though? The thing, I why the fuck this nigga Gene did write a book first before yo, so y'all got his tapes, you got the tape. P. Diddy's inner circle speaks out. Secrets exposed. But look, that shit showed Gene Dill. Gene Dill been talking for how long? This man been fucking talking. 10 months ago, years ago, yo, Gene Dill been talking. And the motherfuckers been slow walking. But it's very odd that he's 55. What was the name of that fucking play when we beat Tom Brady, New England? All right, check check this out. Right? Yo, y'all up yet? So, well, this Tisa, I don't know where she is, but don't she sound really wired on a Saturday morning? Like, yo, like you not sleeping in the bed. Like, why you had to come and talk? You already said what you had to say. Like somebody gave you a call. You said Brian still ripped into your ass. Like, what you mean? Man, I ain't signed no papers or nothing. Me. They say counter tell pro is for free. It is. I, I recover my. I want to recover my losses. I'm a fair man. I mean, I did just play her the other day, and so Brian still ripped into your ass. I did. I just was saying, like, I disagree, but I know how Brian. Listen, didn't I say? I said runaway jury. I mean, what happened to the picture with who had the picture around with the gray hair? Why y'all showing him with these dark glasses on now? Where the pictures with the gray hair at? He was coming to court with gray hair. Where the drawings at? Where that shit at? Who got this? The Law Crime Network. Look,
threats, forced polygraphs, a gun, and a plan to kill Kid Cudi. These are allegations a jury just heard from Capricorn Clark, a former Diddy employee whose testimony could be key to proving the racketeering case against the hip hop mogul. I'm going to speak with Law and Crimes reporter Elizabeth Milner, who is inside that courtroom, to get the latest from what went down. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, in yet another big day of testimony, Sean Diddy Combs' former employee, Capricorn Clark, detailed a years-long pattern of alleged intimidation, violent outbursts, workplace abuse, all while working for the hip-hop mogul. And you know what?
listen what she said. What they say. You can see, this is what I'm trying to say. Workplace abuse by a black man. Workplace abuse by a black man. And Clarence Thomas. Yeah, Anita Baker said that he used to put his pubic hair on her Coke box, what was it, her Pepsi. She could see the hair. She don't want to go to all sides of it. I'm going, but he got sunglasses.
And you know why her testimony is so important? Because Clark, who served as Combs' personal assistant and later as Cassandra Ventura's creative director, she arguably helps prove the racketeering charge in this case. More specifically, the underlying kidnapping, arson, maybe even forced labor underlying crimes that support the pattern of racketeering activity. Remember, prosecutors need to prove at least two underlying crimes to get the racketeering count. And what she apparently told these jurors was a lot, even that Combs allegedly threatened to kill her. that she was forced to take a lie detector test. Okay, so we're going to break all this down. And to do that, I want to bring on now.
So, listen, that she was forced to take a lie detector in New York. And then someone else just was saying to me they had it on my jet. I just took a lie detector test about what? Why you put it on my jet that you took a lie detector test? Who the fuck? Yo, this nigga name is Rainwater. I'm telling you. I don't give a fuck who take this nigga stuff. Him, who they take their shirt off for. I don't care about none of that shit. I don't care about none of these channels. You had this fucking purple little strip right here. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about them books. Bro, where my bread all this going around in circles and shit. Nigga, yeah, I don't know. No parties involved in this. None of that. The ones I know, they came right over here and said what the fuck they said. Yeah, I'm not taking no fucking videos down. None of but I don't care how big you is, how small you is, getting in my way, I'm gonna run through you over you like a truck. No getting truck, man. So you got Bo Jackson and all of that shit. These jokers was small as shit. I remember the first time I told somebody, I said, yo, I'm bigger than Tupac. No, fuck you ain't. Why? Because you seen him with his shirt off. And I know this nigga is only, I was in the military, 72 inches. They equal 6 feet. So if he 5'7", he a little nigga, 5. I don't give a fuck what the movie make him look like he real tall and all that. No. What's this? Count the days. It says it's gonna last 5 weeks. This is week what? 3. Now, this is week 3. It says it's gonna last 5 weeks. 5 weeks. 3. This, this is the just the first week of June. So, and this the first week of June. And it's supposed to last 5 weeks. And y'all recapping. Y'all already recapping week 3, so it got 2 weeks. Yeah, that's right. Enough time for somebody to be a witness or something like that. I don't know. If it's going to be a surprise witness, imagine that surprise witness just got off the stand in the Diddy trial. I'm just saying. But before she go, she gonna have to get herself rehabilitated in the federal court. So when she get to Texas, hey, hey. I'm just saying. All right. So let me show you what I say. What time is it? It's 6 to they get ready to go. They probably get ready to go in the court now. So here's the other side. Freaky social posts and no sleep. Week 3, right?
Bring on now Lawn Crimes Elizabeth Milner, who's been inside that courtroom throughout the trial every day for every piece of testimony, and that includes the testimony of Capricorn Clark. Elizabeth, great to see you. So Capricorn Clark, we knew she was going to take the stand after the explosive testimony from Kid Cudi last week where he mentioned her. Before we even get into any specifics about her testimony, just remind our audience who she is exactly, how she even got involved with the Sean Combs enterprise, or that's more of a legal term if we're talking about a criminal enterprise, the Sean Combs business. How about that?
Well, Capricorn Clark is a name that we've been hearing about a number of times, right? We know that she had been working under Diddy's employment for a number of years, but she really kind of broke it down today just as far as what position that she had held at which time. So when she was first brought on to kind of the bad boy orbit or the Diddy orbit.
So, which one is Capricorn John? This one or this one? Because let me back this up. Maybe I'm. All right. You got on black and brown. You got on like black. And your hair is like this. So, okay.
Get into any specifics about her testimony. Just remind our audience who she is exactly, how she even got involved with the Sean Combs enterprise, or that's more of a legal term if we're talking about a criminal enterprise, the Sean Combs business. How about that?
Well, Capricorn Clark is a name.
Now, her arms is light color. She got brown with this John right here.
That we've been hearing about.
So y'all got clear fucking footage of her.
Number of times, right? We know that she had been working.
What I tell y'all? You got the fucking marshals literally. Yeah, it don't look like a show to you. For real.
She had been working under Diddy's employment for a number of years, but she really kind of broke it down today just as far as what position that she had held at.
And then boom, this how she broke it down today. What day was that where she had that color on and why y'all can't make it brown? Huh? Did you ever know that I had the biggest crush on you?
She had held at which time. So when she was first brought on to kind of the bad boy orbit or the Diddy orbit, we could also say, this was around the 2004 to 2006 timeframe when Capricorn Clark was just Diddy's assistant at the time. But then after a couple promotions, she went on to become the director of marketing. She worked for the women's department of Sean John. And then she went on to global branding, and something that she had held as a position from about 2008 to 2012. Then there was some time lapse because a lot of things had happened after that time period. But around 2016 to 2018, she was rehired again, and she was hired actually this time to work as Cassie's brand director. So she had worked pretty much kind of from the ground up in a way, if you think about it, from just an executive assistant role all the way up until she was essentially just kind of monitoring or at least managing Cassie's brand, how she looked, how she would appear in press and red carpet. benefits, that sort of thing. And what else we know about Capricorn Clark is she was one of the other people, including Diddy and one of the security guards, who went over to Kid Cudi's house while Diddy was essentially looking for the rapper because he was in a relationship with Cassie around the time. And so this was a person that a lot of us have been anticipating her testimony today, because a lot of us just wanted to know what she had to say. We had already heard from Cassie, and we already heard from Kid Cudi last week, and now we're hearing from Capricorn Clark. So she's really kind of
Did you ever know that I had the biggest crush on you for I started working for you? Y'all see that on the screen? Yeah. So who having a bad day? Like, look, it literally say that. It say on the screen, I had the biggest crush on you since I started working for you. So either he is asking her about that. Why would they call this a sidebar? Wait a minute. This is where you ain't trying to let some shit get in. Let's go.
inside that courtroom. He's very toned down. He looks kind of like he kind of looks like a Huxtable, maybe possibly a Mr. Rogers, where he's just in a sweater, he's in an undershirt, he's just wearing slacks. Like, he's not the Diddy that we've seen on red carpets. He's not the Diddy we've seen on social media. So he looks toned down inside the courtroom. So to hear that he had allegedly wanted her killed because she had had this previous relationship with Suge Knight, it was kind of just like a, oh my goodness moment a little bit, because this was kind of the first time we were hearing about this. But according to
The first time they hearing about that.
according to Capricorn Clark, when this alleged threat was being made, that Diddy appeared very calm during this. And again, Uncle Paulie was calm. And Capricorn Clark has said Uncle Paulie didn't say anything when Diddy had allegedly made this threat. Instead, Uncle Paulie remained calm. He was stoic. But Capricorn responded to the threat saying, we'll have to see. And Capricorn admitted while she was on the stand that she should have been more transparent. You know, hindsight's always 2020, but she said she should have been more transparent just about the overall relationship with Suge Knight. Because again, Suge Knight and Diddy go way back, and not in necessarily a good way either. You know, they started off as kind of colleagues in a way, or at least cordial from my understanding of it. And then things escalated. Obviously, Suge Knight used to kind of be on the West Coast side with Death Row, whereas Biggie and even Diddy represented the East Coast side, and that was Bad Boy, of course, that we know. And so then while we were inside the gallery and while we were inside the courtroom, we see a bunch of exhibit photos. And the exhibit photos are photos we've seen before. They were photos of D-Rock. D-Rock was a good friend of Biggie Smalls, according to Capricorn Clark. And this is something that we've known as well, too, because D-Rock was the one who had driven down another assistant to try to find Suge Knight that one time. So everything just kind of intertwines with itself. But really, I think the takeaway is just this beef carried on and on forever. And so then we saw another exhibit photo, this one of Ruben. Ruben is going to be kind of an important figure later on in Capricorn Clark's testimony. But we saw a photo of Ruben, aka Rue. He also goes by that, and that's actually D-Rock's little brother. Came and was hired after Capricorn Clark. And then we saw an exhibit photo of Roger Bonds, and he started around the same time as Capricorn Clark, and that again is another security guard. So these photos we've seen as government exhibits already. But then Capricorn Clark was asked, did you observe Diddy with a gun? And she had mentioned one particular incident, and this was during the kidnapping incident. And then she had also discussed that there was a time before that Diddy had, he was doing kind of this like press events with 50 Cent, and that there was kind of this back and forth between 50 Cent and Diddy, because we know their beef also goes back years and years and years. But according to Capricorn Clark, when she was on the stand today, Diddy, who she refers to as Puff or Puffy while she's on the stand, told Chris Lighty, who used to work with 50 Cent, that I don't like the back and forth, I like guns. And that was kind of a way that the prosecution, I felt like, was really kind of coming out swinging as far as just, what did you observe with Diddy under your employment? What were the threats that were made? They really just kind of went at it right off of the bat.
No, look, for a racket.
Yo, so now listen. Remember, you look at my man Sean, he hit the joint on the ground. Yo, they never gonna win this joint because he said, give me a hug then. He said, don't ever talk about that. So he gave him a hug. Everybody walked away and nobody get hurt. So who you're talking about, a boy from Power? Yeah.
A racketeering conspiracy charge where prosecutors are saying that he operated a criminal enterprise that was engaged in a pattern of illegal activity, and there are all these underlying crimes. They have to convince this jury that he's essentially almost like a mafia boss, right? That he's a gang leader. And the more they can say who he surrounded himself with, and there was violence and threats and drugs and guns and bodyguards, that's how they build it up. Now, we'll get more into the specifics of the underlying charges they're trying to prove with racketeering, but just to give everybody a sense of what we're talking about, didn't you also describe having to take a lie detector test, this over missing jewelry, which she wouldn't be the first witness, the first former employee of Combs to testify in this trial about a lie detector test?
Right, we got a little snippet of it from David James's testimony last week, but now we're hearing it from, like you said, Jesse, another employee, this one being of Capricorn Clark. So according to Capricorn Clark, she said that she was actually accused within the first few months of her employment, accused of stealing a watch and stealing a necklace, stealing essentially this jewelry, very expensive jewelry, by the way, that was on a loan from this man named Jacob the jeweler. And so Puff, or Diddy, I should say, actually gave Capricorn Clark the jewelry to kind of hold. Again, it was on loan around this time. And Capricorn said that she had called security and told Diddy that his jewelry was missing. Diddy had told Capricorn Clark at this time to go back with Uncle Paulie, again, the same Uncle Paulie who was in Central Park that one day. And Capricorn described being questioned by Uncle Paulie for a long period of time, essentially just about where this jewelry was. She said that Uncle Paulie even came to her home, searched her belongings, something that David James had testified to last week, that his hotel room was searched through by Diddy security guards. And then we see an exhibit photo of Bad Boy Worldwide, and this later became their new corporate offices. But around the time, it was essentially just kind of this empty building, and I think it's from the address, because I can't have my phone on with me during federal court, but I think from the address, it's not too far from where our law and crime offices are now. But as far as just what had happened in this particular instance, she said she arrived to these offices. Again, these were supposed to be the new corporate headquarters, but at the time that she had went, it was essentially just this abandoned building. And when she went inside, someone locked her in from the outside, so there was no way for her to leave. So she said she was brought up to the 6th floor by Uncle Paulie, and she was met with another man. And she didn't know this man's name. She could not identify what his name was, but really just kind of spoke about his features. And she explained that he was a very wide set man and that he was equivalent to about 6 of her. So just kind of emphasizing that he was just a heavy set man who was smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee, I guess, in this office on the 6th floor. And so this man had told her, because again, we don't know his name, had told her that she needed to take a lie detector test. And if she didn't take the test, the biggest thing was that she said she would be thrown into the East River. Now, there was an objection that had happened after she had said this statement during her testimony, and then they had gone to a sidebar. And of course, when the sidebar happens, there's a bunch of a bunch of white noise going off. It kind of sounds like static, and so we can't hear what all is discussed in the side.
It was what? It was white noise. So you couldn't hear the name you're drawing in the sidebar, but you the name you're drawing the sidebar, and you said it was all this white noise. Just want to know, where was Diddy at? Diddy was up there too?
Discussed in the sidebar. They're kind of huddled over into the corner. So it's unclear exactly what the defense was kind of objecting to, and just the details kind of surrounding it. And so then when they get back from the sidebar, Capricorn Clark has asked whether or not she felt like the man was being serious as far as this threat goes to take this lie detector test. And Capricorn said that the man was being very serious and said she was petrified during this whole incident, and said that she ended up just going ahead and taking the test. And so she was asked questions like, did you steal? Did you come up with a plan to steal? And the results came back inconclusive. The results were inconclusive, she had said, because the lie detector administrator wasn't getting a good reading of her because she was so nervous, she was so jittery. And like,
listen to me. Yo, how the fuck is somebody gonna make you take a lie detector test? when when you went into a job and took a lie detector. Yo, seriously. Yo, on some real shit. Yo, I was in the I was in the Marine Corps. They never made us take no lie detector test. I know how to beat the lie detector test. The lie detector test Yo, it's only a few people that, as part of your job, is at any given time you have to take a lie detector test. If you have um, access to someone that you could kill, steal, or whatever, if the government of the goddamn United States used them tactics, you don't think it's possible? You don't think it's possible that Sean Combs knows the security protocol of, yeah, maybe Barack Obama or any other president that he's saying, you know, and the higher you get, my name say she seen the. Did they say she seen the freak offs? Like they asked her about a lie detector test. That's spook. And y'all testifying about it in a fucking federal court. All right. I mean, believe believe what you must. Yeah, just saying. You saying death threats, all of that for some jewelry? That must have been some pretty special jewelry. And it might convenient that there was missing jewelry. Where is the missing jewelry? Girl, let me see if she say something. Did she say anything? If they say anything else, like they make her look very old right here. I don't know who the hell did this drawing. They said just trash. They said it's garbage.
And like when I was younger, I took like a lie detector test because my dad worked as a police officer. And really, like if you are asked the question, like, did you clean your room, and you get nervous, it does kind of spike up. So that I can say is my only experience taking a lie detector test.
Yo, this joint called Sidebar. They're talking about a lie detector test in New York. And I said, yo, the training joint is up there, is in New York. Allegedly.
A lie detector test, but from what Capricorn Clark was kind of explaining while on the stand is just how petrified and nervous she was. But she said she was left in this deserted office the entire day and just kept on taking these lie detector tests all day, unable to leave. And Uncle Polly was the one who told her she cannot leave. And so again, the door was locked from the outside, and she was able to leave after Polly essentially let her leave. And the next day, Polly came back, got her again, and she went back to that exact same location, took the lie detector test over again and over again and over again. And she said that she had to come back and do this lie detector test 5 times. And these lie detector tests, according to Capricorn Clark, lasted essentially all day. And she said the reason she kept coming back and doing these tests was because she wanted to prove her innocence. She said that she didn't take anything from anyone, and she didn't go and tell the police because she had worked under an NDA. There was an objection. That objection was sustained. So the jury, won't be able to hear.
So listen, you literally are in court crying because I'm asking you, did you take the jury? You don't know if nobody else taking the joint. You saying the shit lasted all day. What? So what? Where my jury at? Where my bread? I'm not hiring motherfuckers to steal from me. But you was under NDA. Who told you? And you heard her say, yo, he objected to that. Because how is she able to, come on. Well, I know any NDA that I know how to enforce that motherfucker. I don't go fuck if you get up there. I don't understand, testify about shit. I ain't told you shit anyway. So be done. Somebody may take a lot of tech tests, but you kept coming back though. You kept coming back to take a lot of tech because you wanted to prove your innocence. So how the fuck would, so you was able to leave, freely leave, and freely come. But Uncle Paulie was there. Paulie who? You don't know his name? Paul. Nobody know who Uncle Paulie is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's what I said. this joint called Sidebar, but somebody told me to watch the other joint. I gotta, I gotta do what I feel necessary to do because I wanted to see something. Freaky social media posts and no sleep. But right on the screen it says now if this is a rendition of actually was happening in the court, there was no way that it should say up there, I've had a crush on you since I started working, since before I started working for you. And you taking off your glasses and you crying like you just got caught up in the bit. Nah. Man.
To hear that part, but she said during these long days, long hours of taking this lie detector test that Diddy didn't check up on her during this time. And then after the 5 days was over, Uncle Paulie told her that she could go back to work that next Monday, or that following Monday, I should say. But she doesn't even know where the jewelry was or if it was even ever located. And she said she continued to work for Diddy after the time, even though he had kept making her do this lie detector test so quickly into her new position.
Hey everybody, this is another law and crime legal alert. If you received Depo-Provera birth control shots and were later diagnosed with a brain or spinal tumor called meningioma, you may be eligible for a lawsuit. That's right, Morgan & Morgan is investigating claims that patients weren't properly warned about this risk. It's free to check, just takes a few minutes. You don't pay unless they win. So scan the QR code on screen, click the link below, or head over to forthepeople.com/LCDepo to see if you qualify. She had with Sean Combs, that he was the victim of retaliation at the hands of Sean Combs. And this is all important for the racketeering charge, right? The more that the prosecution can make the point that Combs was this essential mafia boss, that he was heading up this criminal enterprise that was involved in a whole series of crimes, that's how you get to racketeering. A criminal enterprise that has all of these underlying crimes: forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, sex trafficking. Kid Cudi, pivotal witness for what I would say is multiple predicate crimes. And then we heard from officials today regarding these specific events surrounding Kid Cudi. So we have a lot to get into, a lot of dramatic testimony. For that, I want to bring on law and crimes reporter Elizabeth Milner, who has been inside that courtroom every day of trial. Elizabeth, so good to see you. Thanks for coming here.
Yes.
On set.
I know. I'm in studio today. Can you believe it?
I love it. I love it. I always see you across
Right.
outside the courthouse. So I'm happy to have you here.
Yes.
Now, before we even get into the testimony today, including of Deontay Nash, there was something that happened before the jury was even brought in, before testimony even began.
Mhm.
What happened?
Yeah, so I feel like some of the most interesting things that happen in this trial are always the arguments outside of the presence of the jury. That's really when you see the attorneys in action, and really, honestly, when they're showing kind of their personality more, not playing it up so much to the jury. And so there was kind of a big ruling that was made outside of the jury presence before testimony had started today, and it regarded Kid Cudi. So there was this defense motion that they were trying to strike this last little bit of testimony where Kid Cudi essentially implied that he had believed Diddy was lying about having anything to do with the Molotov cocktail that was lodged into his car, having anything to do with the break-ins in his home. And so there was this moment at the Soho House where they had a meeting, they met up, they shook hands. So the prosecution had asked Kid Cudi, what did you make of just this meetup? And what did you think that Diddy was implying when he had said that he didn't know what he was talking about when he was asked straight up just about the Molotov cocktail, and that Kid Cudi had believed that Diddy was lying about this. And it was kind of a moment towards the end of his testimony, because this was a moment that we got to at the redirect. So this was after the cross-examination, where a lot of people were just like, oh, wow. So he definitely believes it. Was kind of another aha moment, if you will. And so the defense objected to this. The defense wanted this little piece that Kid Cudi was talking about just struck from the record. They didn't want this to go to the transcript when the jury goes into deliberation. And so the judge actually denied the defense's motion. And he had said that the door was actually opened for this line of questioning, for this type of response under the cross-examination. And so that was a big ruling that he had made earlier this morning.
Little inside baseball, as much as they tell a jury to disregard a comment, once it's made, you can't ring the bell. It's very hard to tell a jury not to consider that, which, by the way, we have something to talk about when it comes to a specific piece of testimony that the judge instructed the jury today to disregard. We'll get to that in a minute. But we had Officer Christopher Ignacio of the LAPD testify, and he was the one who responded to the alleged break-in at Kid Cudi's home. And this is somebody who's a veteran. So he'd been with the department about 16 years. When he responded to Kid Cudi's home, what was that response like?
Yeah, so this response happened on December 22nd of 2011. This is a couple days before Christmas, around the holiday time. And so he was responding to a home up in the Hollywood Hills. The address was an address we were all very familiar with. Why? Because it was Kid Cudi's address. So he said that he was dispatched around 8:20 in the morning about a possible suspect stare down. And Ignacio had...
Wait a minute. A possible suspect stare down.
Ignacio had said that he had responded with police lights, with sirens, just kind of the whole shebang. And so then we see an exhibit photo of Kid Cudi's front door. So then we know, of course, he had been responding to Kid Cudi's house. And Officer Ignacio was explaining that the neighborhood that Kid Cudi had lived in at the time, it was kind of situated above the Hollywood Hills. It has narrow views and kind of windy roads. But he said that he had noticed a black Escalade. And that to me really stuck out, because this is kind of towards the beginning of his testimony. That stuck out to me because yesterday when Capricorn Clark was testifying, she testified that Diddy, Ruben, Diddy security guard, and Capricorn Clark all went to Kid Cudi's home in what? A black Escalade, and that they proceeded to even chase down Kid Cudi when he had been responding to this break-in that had happened at his home. But Officer Ignacio, while he testified today, said that he didn't notice any of the passengers inside the vehicle because the windows were heavily tinted, kind of like a limo would be tinted, just very dark, so he couldn't see inside. But he said that he did catch a license plate number, and this license plate was for 6LKN013. He said he didn't pull the car over at this particular time because there was no crime at the time. But then he starts to kind of get into just what had happened once he's on Kid Cudi's property, that his partner jumped over a fence, let him in. He noticed the door was open, but no one was home. Then he had noticed some unwrapped gifts, which I thought was pretty interesting because Kid Cudi had testified that these gifts were wrapped when he was testifying last week, that these gifts were wrapped. And then when he came home, that these gifts were unwrapped. They were in the kitchen area. And then more detectives kind of arrived. They searched the area. But I think one thing that was pretty interesting that stood out to me during Christopher Ignacio's testimony is that he didn't mention the dog. And I think the dog was kind of a big thing, according to Kid Cudi, because Kid Cudi had explained that he normally lets his dog kind of roam around. However, when he returned home for this break-in, that his dog was locked in the bathroom and his dog was jumpy and nervous after this incident. And so that was one point that just wasn't discussed today during testimony, which I found pretty interesting. So as far as Officer Ignacio, he had said that they had exited the home and noticed that
I told you I'm the dog, but I don't know Diddy. I don't know Diddy. So why was the dog missing from the testimony? But I don't know Diddy or nothing, but I'm just talking about a cartoon. You ever hear a dog talk? What? What dog? Well, you heard it was a dog, and then then all of a sudden it wasn't a dog. That is something, but you get to put that out, and so Kid Cudi get to say that some gifts was rap, but you don't get to talk about no dog. The dog. The dog was supposed to be jumping up and down in the bathroom, and it wasn't mentioned in testimony. Man, that sounds just like the OJ case in reverse. I'm off this joint. I ain't got time. You joint not pulling down. What you say? All these people just say like, and I say nothing about Harvey Weinstein, but brothers, Hill, Jones, run up and pretend like they got hit. I'm off this joint right here.